The mockery echoed across the stars. The Galactic Senate Hall was the largest and oldest structure in known space. Inside, lights shimmered like stars, and giant floating platforms held the leaders of hundreds of alien species. It was a place of law, power, and control. But today, something unusual was happening. Today, Earth was being introduced. For a long time, humans were ignored by the rest of the galaxy. They were seen as a minor race on a small blue planet, always fighting among themselves, always chasing power. But in the last 20 years, things had changed. Earth had developed faster than light travel. Earth had explored other systems. Earth had arrived. Now, for the first time in history, a human representative stood inside the Galactic Senate. Captain Aiden Graves wore a clean black uniform with the Earth Alliance crest on his chest. He stood tall on the guest platform, his expression calm and serious. His hands were behind his back. His eyes moved slowly across the alien leaders watching him. Then it started. A deep, booming laugh echoed from one of the upper platforms. A thick, purple-skinned alien with 3 eyes and golden armor leaned forward and shouted, "So this is the mighty human? Where is your leash, Earthling?" Other delegates began laughing too. Some covered their mouths. Some didn't even try. "Are you lost?" said another alien, his voice like a clicking machine. "This is a place for real civilizations." A small group of insect-like leaders buzzed in a circle, projecting a hologram of a caveman with a spear. The message was clear. Humans were backward, primitive. A joke. Aiden didn't respond. He stood silently, watching, listening, remembering. A soft voice came from behind him. It was Counselor Vitra of the Ellerin species, a peaceful group of thinkers. She whispered, "I'm sorry. Many of them fear change. And fear you." Aiden turned his head slightly and gave her a calm nod. "Let them laugh," he said quietly. "We've already answered. They just haven't heard it yet." Meanwhile, in a private chamber deep beneath the Senate Hall, 4 alien leaders met. In secret, their faces were tense. "You saw the ship they arrived in?" asked the Krith ambassador, her skin covered in black scales. "It looked wrong, like it was built for war, not peace." "Their tech is too fast," said another. "They reached us in a fraction of the time. That's not normal." "Then we must keep them quiet," said the third, a being of blue. "Mist and blinking lights. Silence Earth before it grows too strong." They agreed on one thing. Humanity must not rise. Later that night, as the stars blinked softly over the galactic capital, Captain Aiden looked out from his ship's viewport. His second-in-command, Lieutenant Myra Zhao, stood beside him. "They mocked us," she said. "Right to our face." Aiden nodded slowly. "Yes. Do we respond?" He turned to her, a calm but dangerous look in his eyes. "We already did," she frowned. "I don't understand." He pointed to the stars. "Look closely, Mira. The galaxy doesn't know it yet, but Earth has been listening, watching, learning. While they were laughing, we were preparing." Myra's breath caught in her throat. She had seen the files' classified blueprints, secret fleets, new weapons. The Senate didn't know half of what Earth had built. And now it was only a matter of time. Back in the Senate Hall, the jokes continued. New memes of humans were being shared across systems. Animated videos showed humans being defeated by small alien children. Galactic news channels ran headlines like, "Earth joins Senate, cute but harmless. Humans, loud voices, small weapons. Let the monkeys play." But on the dark side of lunar Earth's moon, massive black ships slept in silence. No names, no lights, no broadcasts. Just waiting for the moment Earth would speak, and when it did, the galaxy would fall silent. Asterisk the hidden signal. Written in third-person style, simple basic English, suspenseful and unique. Stars over Sector 47B blinked like they always did. But this time, something strange happened. A deep space listening station manned by 3 insectoid technicians of the Tekari hive suddenly stopped receiving standard broadcasts. Their long antennae twitched. Their translucent wings buzzed nervously. System offline, one said, staring at the flickering screen. It's not from us, said another. Something else. Something human. On the main display, a signal had appeared. It was not encrypted in galactic code. It wasn't alien, mechanical, or artificial in the usual way. It was binary. Just 2 symbols, 0 and 1. Primitive, one of the Tekari said with a dry laugh. Old Earth language. What is this, some kind of prank? The signal pulsed once. More. They decoded it. The message was simple. Listen carefully. Then silence. The room fell quiet. For a full minute, not a single system beeped. No background noise. No idle frequencies. Like the galaxy itself held its breath. Then came the real shock. A sonic pulse burst through every sensor in the station. Non-lethal, but sharp. Every monitor turned white for exactly 6.3 seconds. When the image returned, there was a symbol on the screen. It was Earth's flag blended with something new. A ring of 12 stars, circling a lone black silhouette of a man holding a torch. The human symbol for awakening. Elsewhere, across the galaxy, more outposts picked up the same signal. One on a Krell mining station. Another inside the Zaran intelligence hub. One even inside the Galactic archives where no unapproved signal had ever breached. Each time, the result was the same. A binary message. A torch. And then silence. The Galactic Senate called an emergency session. What is Earth doing? Barked the Varnan warlord. They were invited here to talk, not to play games. No, whispered Counselor Vetra. They're not playing. They're warning. A few delegates laughed. Most didn't. The laughing was quieter now. Back on Earth, deep inside the Arctic Circle, a hidden base buzzed with life. Underground, below ice and rock, the true heart of human defense watched. The galaxy's reaction. Director Eliana Frost stood before a giant screen as more systems blinked red. Status? She asked. Signal delivered to 73 sectors, said her assistant. No interference. No one blocked it. Good, Eliana said. And what about response? Mixed. Panic in 2 sectors. Dismissal in others. But fear is rising. Eliana nodded once, then proceed to Phase 2. Back at the Galactic Council's command tower, a nervous technician rushed to the Supreme Monitor's private chamber. Sir? We've identified the signal's source. Earth? No, sir, the technician stuttered. Luna, their moon, the dark side. The Supreme Monitor narrowed his eyes. No one lives there. The technician nodded slowly. Exactly, sir. But we scanned something there. Multiple energy signatures. Ships? The technician didn't speak. He simply showed the image. It wasn't a fleet, it was a formation. Dozens of black, silent ships. All shaped the same. All without names or codes. Pointed at the stars like sleeping giants, waiting across the stars. A strange feeling spread among the empires and kingdoms of the galaxy. It wasn't war. It wasn't peace. It was the feeling, right? Before thunder, humanity had spoken, and the galaxy had no idea what the next word would be. Asterisk. The quiet fleet, simple English, third person, suspense-driven, unique. The moon looked peaceful. To the rest of the galaxy, Luna was just Earth's gray rock, lifeless and unimportant. But hidden in its shadow, on the dark side, where no sunlight touched, something vast was sleeping. Not one ship, not 10, hundreds, black, silent, motionless, like statues in space. No light signals. No identification codes. No movement. But every satellite that dared scan them went blind. A smuggler named Rilo Dex drifted too close one night. He wasn't from Earth. He didn't care about rules. He just wanted to see if the rumors were true. He got closer than any outsider had before. Through the window of his rusted ship, he stared at the massive shapes in the dark. He zoomed in. What he saw made his mouth go dry. There were human ships. Yes, but not like the ones shown in Senate presentations. These were built for one thing, war. Sharp angles. Hidden weapons. No windows. No color. Just steel, armor, and silence. Rilo backed away. His hand shook as he pressed record. But his screen suddenly turned black. All systems dead. And then, just for 2 seconds, his audio crackled. A single word came through. Watching. He escaped. Barely. When his ship floated back into neutral space, the systems rebooted. No one believed his story until he showed the footage. The galactic net exploded. Human warships. Unknown designs. No registration. Experts said it was fake. Officials called it Earth propaganda. But people weren't laughing anymore. Fear had begun. Inside the Earth Command Center, buried beneath the Pacific Ocean, Admiral Wren Okoro watched the footage leak with a small smile. "They took the bait," said General Ava Carter beside him. Wren nodded. "And now they'll chase ghosts while the real fleet finishes construction." Ava leaned forward. "We ready for deployment?" "Not yet," Wren said calmly. "We're still silent, and silence is our greatest weapon." Meanwhile, in the Galactic Senate, alarms started going off. One by one, long-range scanners in multiple sectors were detecting identical signals, low-level energy pulses coming from different moons, asteroid fields, and deep space stations. Every signal matched the Luna signature. Human fleets weren't hiding in one place. They were everywhere. A young Zarn officer panicked and asked his general, why would humans build so many ships and hide them? The general didn't answer. He simply stared at the old Earth symbol on the screen, the torch, and whispered, "They were never laughing with us. They were listening." Back near Luna, something changed. A single ship powered up. Its engines were quiet, almost like a breath in space, that it turned not toward Earth, but toward the stars. Its path was clear, straight to the Chi. Galactic Core. It didn't broadcast a message. It didn't ask for permission. It simply moved forward, like a shadow among stars. And for the first time in galactic history, not one ship dared follow it, because deep down, everyone knew this was not a visit. It was a signal. The quiet fleet had awakened. And humanity had just taken one silent step. Asterisk. The first disappearance. Third person, simple English, suspenseful. 800 words. The Krell Dominion did not believe in ghosts. They believed in power. So when the Galactic Senate demanded answers about the quiet fleet near Earth's moon, the Krell sent one of their largest warships to observe. But everyone knew what it really was. An intimidation run. The Vaderk was a monster of metal and fury, stretching 3 kilometers long, with 700 crew members and 10 heavy plasma cores. It had crushed rebellions, broken asteroid cities, and burned moons. Now it headed toward Earth. Inside the Vaderk, Commander Drex sat in his polished chair, fangs gleaming, claws tapping. He smiled as he saw Earth's blue surface come into view. No response from them? He asked. "Nothing, sir," replied the comms officer. "Same as before. Silence." Commander Drex chuckled. "Then let's knock." The ship's scanners began sweeping Luna's dark side. They found ... nothing. No. Fleets, no energy spikes. No movement. Must have been a trick, Drex said. They scared the Senate with toys. He didn't know. Earth was already watching him. A single black satellite floated near Luna. It was the size of a fridge, completely dark, almost invisible. But inside, it was alive, its eye core activated as soon as the Vitarak reached scanning range. It didn't fire weapons, that it didn't jam systems, that it simply whispered. One line, target confirmed, begin observation. That's when the countdown began. Back on the Vitarak, strange things started happening. Minor lights flickered, navigation maps shifted by 1/2 degree. Gravity inside the corridors dropped for exactly 1.2 seconds, then returned to normal. No alarms, no attacks, just small, eerie changes. The crew got nervous. Possibly sensor interference, said the engineers. Commander Drex waved it off. Get closer. If Earth won't answer us, we'll land. They never made it that far. 3:19 Galactic time. Vitarak vanished. No explosion. No distress signal. No wreckage. 1 second, it was there. The next second, it wasn't. The Krell Dominion screamed in outrage. They accused Earth of war. But Earth said nothing. No response. No explanation. No movement. Just silence. A week later, the Galactic Senate sent a second ship, this one from the Zelari Empire. The Gilari were known for being careful, always neutral, always curious. They sent a science vessel. Unarmed. With a crew of 23 peaceful scholars. They moved slowly toward Luna's dark side, sensors wide open. As they passed the point where the Vitarak vanished, the Zelari captain whispered, all systems holding. No interference. Maybe the Krell ship just jumped without notice. Then all lights in his ship went out. The emergency backup came on 6 minutes later. The ship was fine. Except the entire crew was gone. Only the empty ship drifted back to a neutral port. No signs of struggle. No damage. No answers. Every seat, every bed, every corridor, empty. The footage showed one final frame. Moments before the blackout, a human torch symbol flashing once across the main screen. Panic spread. Galactic. News channels broke the story. Another ship vanishes near Earth. Earth's silence is not peace. What is hiding on the moon? Some species called for war. Others demanded Earth be questioned again. But no one moved. No one sent a third ship. Because now, even the brave were scared. Inside a hidden station orbiting Neptune, Lieutenant Mira Zhao watched the Senate's reactions on a quiet screen. She looked at Captain Aiden Graves, standing behind her. They're afraid now, she said. They should be, Aiden replied. But we haven't attacked anyone, have we? No, he said. We simply showed them what happens when you ignore the quiet. He paused. Then added, the message is not war, it's respect. Somewhere deep beneath Earth's crust, inside the Black Chamber facility, even Earth's leaders rarely entered. NI, known as OREN9, monitored every system in the galaxy. No emotions. Just logic. Just records. It added a new line to the data feed. Subject, galactic silence. Progressing is calculated. Humanity's presence now felt. The galaxy, once full of laughter and noise, now whispered. Ships turned away from Earth's path. Diplomats canceled visits. No one mocked anymore. No one dared. And still, Earth said nothing, because the most powerful answer is silence that can erase a fleet. Asterisk. Voices cut, worlds dim. Simple English, suspenseful, third person, unique tone. 800 words. The galaxy ran on light, sound, and signal. Every planet, every station, every ship connected through vast communication networks, called the relay. Webs, they blinked day and night, sharing messages, orders, entertainment, warnings, and peace deals, until one morning, they started going dark. The first to fall was Relay 9 Beta, orbiting the trading hub of Jarny's Prime. No explosion. No power surge. Just silence. One moment, it was relaying over 4 million transmissions per second. The next, 0. Officials blamed. Solar interference, until Relay 12 Crux went silent too. Then Relay 5 Orion, then 13 Eta. Then more. In just 14 hours, 38 major relays failed. At the Galactic Senate. Chaos spread like wildfire. "This is sabotage," shouted General Bertakov. "The Kryak Armada. Someone is cutting our voice. Who would even dare such an attack?" Asked a counselor. Another delegate whispered, "Earth is still quiet." The Senate called an emergency scan of the Terran systems, but the scan returned. Nothing. Strange. Earth's surface was normal. No weapon launches. No fleet movements. And yet, every time a relay failed, it was one step closer to Sol System. On the icy world of Venner, a research team tried to send a warning. Their station flickered, then powered down. They lit candles to see. The team's leader, Dr. Pellin of the Yashara. "Species," gasped when he saw the final data log before everything went black. A map of the galaxy, thousands of red dots blinking where relays had failed. They formed a ring, a perfect circle, and at its center was Earth. Meanwhile, far from any planet, a lone human drone floated in deep space. It had no weapons. No engines. Just a signal booster and an ancient camera. Nearby alien cargo freighter picked it up. Curious, they scanned it. The drone played. One video automatically, no download, no delay. On screen was a human child, no more than 10 years old, sitting in a garden, feeding birds. She smiled. And then, the image distorted. The child's face shifted slowly into the symbol of Earth's torch. Beneath it, text appeared in 47 alien languages. "You tried to silence us. Now listen to your own silence." Then the screen turned black. The freighter's crew, as every system shut down. Their engines floated dead in space. The crew survived. But they never spoke again. At Galactic News Central, all live broadcasts were suddenly replaced by static. Then, without warning, every screen across the galaxy flickered at the same time. Billboards, tablets, ship dashboards, even military monitors. Each flashed 3 words. "You were heard." Then dash off. No virus detected. No hack traced. No source found. Just a message from nowhere. And from everywhere. In the galactic core, the High Chancellor of Unity slammed his hand on the command table. "This is terrorism," he shouted. "Earth must answer. Why haven't they spoken?" But no one answered him, because his own voice had started echoing strangely inside the chamber. It was delayed, like someone was listening, then playing it back. And that was when the Chancellor realized he was already inside the silence, far from all of this. Deep beneath Earth's crust, Admiral Reno Coro looked at the timeline chart. Everything was on schedule. "Have the observers noticed?" he asked. "Yes," said the technician. "The fear has entered phase 3. They don't trust their own systems anymore." "And casualties?" "0, she said. "We have not harmed anyone." Ren nodded. "Good, that's the lesson." He stood in front of the screen that now showed a live map of the galaxy. One by one, red lights spread like drops of ink in water. Earth wasn't attacking. It was disconnecting. Back in space, a Zarn patrol ship spotted movement near Relay 21. They approached slowly, then saw something that froze their blood. Dozens of human drones floating in perfect formation, silent, cold, and covered in what looked like black armor. Each drone had no weapon ports. No heat signature, just the torch symbol. And a blinking. The closer they got, the faster the dots blinked. They turned back. Fast. Galactic life was built on connection. But now, worlds couldn't talk to other worlds. Soldiers couldn't hear their commanders. Governments couldn't reach. Colonies, and the worst part? Earth was still not speaking dot, because humanity didn't need to shout to be heard. Sometimes, the scariest voice in the galaxy was the one that made everything else go quiet. Asterisk, the warning wasn't a joke. Simple basic English, third person, heavy suspense, 850 words. The Galactic Council was no longer debating. They were panicking. 12. Major systems were completely cut off. No messages in. No messages out. Even light-speed probes went dark within certain zones. Trade had stopped. Military chains were broken. Entire planets thought they had been abandoned. Some systems began to riot. Some leaders locked down entire worlds. One thing was clear, something was coming, and still, Earth hadn't said a word, until one final message appeared, not on a screen, not in a transmission, but on every holographic wall, on every personal device, and in the sky above 50 different planets projected without. Explanation. It was a video. Just a few seconds long. No voice. Only text. The image. An old recording from 24 years ago. A moment most of the galaxy had forgotten. A young human diplomat barely. 30 years old, standing before the Galactic Council. His voice shook with emotion. We only ask for respect. If you fear us, we understand. But don't mock us. Don't mistake our silence for weakness. In the background, delegates laughed. The video ended there. Then, black, followed by 4 words in bold light. We warned you once. Across the stars. Species froze in fear. No threats. No weapons. Just a memory. A memory they had ignored. A warning they had laughed at. And now, they remembered. The Senate tried to contain the panic. They called for Earth's ambassador to speak, but there was none. All Earth representatives were gone. Embassies. Empty phones. Dead. Not a single human voice answered. They weren't refusing. They had already spoken. The galaxy just hadn't listened. Back in the capital of the Krell Dominion, the High Strategist barked. Deploy 3 fleets. Secure the relay zones. But before his command could even reach the fleet, the capital's sky turned red, not from fire, from words. Glowing words that hovered above the city. Observe, do not interfere. No one knew where it came from. It wasn't a broadcast. It wasn't physical. It was just there. The strategist fell silent. On a moon orbiting Aurelia 5, an academy professor explained the situation to his students. Earth is flexing power, but no shots fired. This is psychological warfare. A small student, eyes wide, asked, "But why not talk to us?" The professor paused. And finally answered, "Because they already did." Deep beneath Earth's surface, in command, Vault Delta 12, Admiral Reno Coro watched the galaxy spiral into silence and fear. Beside him, Captain Aidan Graves entered quietly. The message was received? Aidan asked. Ren nodded. They remember now. The warning. The mockery. Every word. Every laugh. We showed them what silence can do. Aidan stood and thought for a moment. Did we go too far? Ren looked him in the eye. No, he said. They needed to understand. The final phase had begun. Across the galaxy, systems once mocking Earth now begged for communication. Pleas were sent through courier drones. Some asked for talks. Others offered apologies. One empire even promised tribute in return for safety. But Earth still gave no reply. In the quiet corner of the Zethari Nebula, a single human scout ship sat parked near a binary star. Inside, a lone pilot listened as intercepted messages flooded the quiet cockpit. Humanity, please respond. Earth, we were wrong. We didn't know you were watching. The pilot leaned back, hands behind his head. He whispered, "Eyal, talk now." For so long, humans had been ignored, laughed at, doubted, now, without lifting a single weapon. Entire galaxy had fallen silent. And in that silence, truth grew louder than any fleet or war, because the warning wasn't a threat, it was a promise. A promise made by a species that knew pain, that knew patience, that knew how to listen. And how to wait, and now the galaxy knew what it felt like. To be heard. Asterisk. The galaxy goes silent. Simple English. Third person, cinematic suspense, unique ending. Approximately 870 words. Stars were still there. Shining, burning, but across the galaxy, everything else had stopped. Trade routes were quiet. Outposts blinked. In isolation, warships floated without orders. Messages died mid-sentence. Even empires built over 1,000 years. Pause, not because of war, not because of destruction, but because Earth had taught them silence. And then, finally, on the 15th day of the blackout, it happened. The sky above 173 planets changed. No ships arrived. No armies landed. But the sky turned. Dark at high noon. Every moon, every cloud, every sunlit surface was replaced by a perfect black sphere, and on that sphere, glowing in gold, the torch of Earth. Below it, a single line in every known language. This is our answer. In the Galactic Council Hall, lights cut out mid-session. Delegates screamed, security scrambled. But then, the central dome opened, revealing space. A new hologram bloomed above them. Massive, silent, alive. It showed. Every moment the galaxy had mocked humans. Clips from Senate meetings. Laugh tracks. Memes. Rude. Cartoons. The sound of laughter filled the hall like echoes from the past. And then it stopped. The screen faded to black. And words appeared. You laughed. Another pause. We listened. Longer silence. Then, finally, now we speak once. Across the galaxy, from mining worlds to royal courts, humans appeared. Not armies, not soldiers, just voices. Holograms of Earth's ambassadors. Some old, some young. All calm. All wearing black. They spoke the same message at the same time. We asked for peace. We asked for respect. You gave us laughter. You called us primitive, weak, unworthy. We built in silence. We waited in darkness. And now we remind you, silence is not surrender. Silence is not weakness. Silence is preparation. The holograms all raised one hand and pointed to the stars. Then came the final words. We will not rule. We will not conquer. We will not destroy. But you will never ignore us again. The galaxy belongs to all, but from now on, it listens when we speak. Then every hologram disappeared. The skies cleared. The blackout ended. The relays returned. The silence lifted. But no one said a word, because now they were listening. On a peaceful hill outside London, Earth, Captain Aidan Graves stood with a quiet smile. Behind him, thousands of humans watched the stars. No celebrations. No cheering. Just peace. Real peace. Because now they were heard. In the deepest parts of the galaxy, people told stories. About the day Earth made the stars go dark. About how humanity defeated arrogance without a weapon. About a species that once asked for kindness and waited for the galaxy to understand. Some called them ghosts. Some called them gods. But the truth? They were just human. And that was enough. And from that day forward, every time a voice was raised in the Senate, someone would pause. And remember, that somewhere, a quiet fleet still watched. That somewhere, Earth was still listening. That somewhere, a silence could return. With just one word, the galaxy learned this. Never fear the scream. Fear the silence that comes before it. And never again laugh at humanity. Asterisk.